television, to any iPad, any computer, Mac, PC, Chromebook. So, and today, because we have all this experience doing television in schools, we've got some pretty good insights about how to use TV in the classroom. So we're gonna spend a portion of time here talking about how to use TV in the classroom, just generalized best practices that we've learned, and then we'll go into a demonstration of the product and talk about the SnapStream software. And I'm joined here by Brian Weissman, who is our account manager for SnapStream EDU. So he's the one who is on the sales side selling to most of our EDU customers. So just a little bit about us as a company. We are a 30-person company located in Houston, Texas. We got into EDU about a year and a half ago and into K through 12. But for many years before that, we've made TV recording and streaming software for organizations from the White House to the Daily Show to the Colbert Report to the United States Senate. And so about 18 months ago, we shifted our focus entirely as a company to K through 12, and that's led us to building the SnapStream EDU product. We have some great schools and districts that are customers now, and as we get through this summer season, that number of customers is going to grow significantly. So we're making our mark in TV and K through 12. But give you an overview. We're going to talk about TV in the classroom. So how do you meet your instructional goals? How do you choose the right TV channels? Searching and finding relevant TV clips, putting educators in the driver's seat. So it's something where the teachers can self-service. What are the issues around fair use, and then finally how SnapStream can help, and we'll go into a demonstration of the SnapStream product. I suspect that the whole presentation here will run about maybe 40 minutes. So let's get started. So first of all, one of the biggest obstacles to educators using multimedia and content, including TV clips in the classroom, is the time and availability of high-quality video clips. And we reduce the amount of time that it takes educators to find those clips that are relevant and provide them with real-world examples of their curriculum. So whatever it is they're trying to illustrate. So we empower the educators with the ability to find and use video content. Educators can build TV segments and clips to spark student interest, extend learning, and provide more information about a topic. So go in depth and in a relevant way, and the pulling in clips can also drive cross-curricular connections. So can drive connections across subjects between, for example, a science class and a history class, the historical context for something happening, and the present-day context, the current events context of, say, some scientific advancement. And of course, drawing connections to the real world is a powerful tool for teachers, being able to connect what it is the students are learning theoretically to something that's in the news is a powerful thing. So I want to take a pause here and do a survey question, and when you answer the survey question, I'll share the results of the survey back out to the audience. So answer the survey question. Once you've done that, I'll continue on. So the question here is, what is the biggest obstacle that teachers face in trying to use TV in curriculum? Is the biggest obstacle, lack of time? Is it, access to relevant TV clips? What's the obstacle? And while everybody's answering the poll question, let me also mention that there are a couple of us here. Brian Weissman I mentioned on the webinar, but also Guyan from our marketing team is on the webinar. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to interject. We're happy to answer those questions as we go. It's actually more fun that way if we make it interactive. So let's take a look at the poll results. So it looks like accessing relevant TV content and difficulty in integrating content into lessons are the challenges that you all are sharing with us. So that's enlightening. Back to the webinar though. So step 2 is choosing the right TV channels. So there are a wide variety of educational TV stations that can be useful in the education process. So you have your news channels, you've got kind of global news, you've got financial news like Bloomberg, which can be helpful in certain contexts. And then you have a lot of just purely educational content outside of the realm of news. So Geography Channel, we've seen a really great source of good content. History Channel, National Geographic Channel, Animal Planet. PBS is of course a great setting up the recording of the channels that might be of interest is kind of where and with SnapStream you plug in your local TV sources and we record off of those, and with the program guide that we have in our product, you can basically choose what it is that you're recording. So you can have local and international news. One thing we've seen people do is we've seen them international channels for foreign language instruction. That can be a powerful tool for students to be able to hear a live broadcast or a news broadcast in French or in Spanish. Creates a interesting and compelling education tool for that language, and very easy. It doesn't take a lot of work. The broadcast is just inherently a good way for students to learn the language. History Channel can be great. You can compare and contrast the facts and the myths surrounding historical fiction, and then Animal Planet. You can use content from Animal Planet to enhance a biology class, a natural sciences class, world geography. A lot of ways in which that can be used. PBS, and is great, and PBS also provides a great deal of educational resources on their site. Maybe Guyan, you can grab that link that we have in the notes and share that out to all of the attendees in the comments section. That'd be good for everyone to see. And of course, also relevant for live viewing, relevant content is being able to see historical events as they unfold. And of course, in the current political climate, there's a lot of real-time events that unfold on television. So SnapStream makes it really easy to do that. So another key to using recordings, TV recordings in the classroom is to find the right TV clips, to find that needle in a haystack that's going to be useful for at that moment in a curriculum. I think also this reflects the usage patterns of students today. Students aren't watching full-length programs. They're watching short videos, and they're watching short videos on Snapchat. They're watching short videos on Twitter and Facebook. So to really capture their attention, the same thing, you need to do the same thing with the videos that you're sharing as a teacher in your classes. And so being able to ferret out just the right moment of television, which will show you SnapStream lets you do, can be a really powerful way that teachers can tap into a bunch of TV recordings and find a needle in a haystack that's going to be relevant to their class. It's important to put educators in control. If this was a top-down thing, if this is something that the instructional coordinators needed to put together, it'd be a lot harder to pull it off. So ease of use is really important. Having something that's just intuitive for teachers, and then also just giving them all access to it. So you of course build your own library. You might decide in your school district to give access, to allow educators to choose which programs are being recorded. That's also possible, so that it's not just a shared DVR, but it's a shared DVR that the teachers have a say in what gets recorded. And then another tool that we have in SnapStream that can be really helpful, can empower educators, is the ability to set up alerts on certain topics. So if I'm doing a section on Alexander Hamilton in my history class, in my American history class, I can set up alerts on the name Alexander Hamilton. Maybe when Brian does his demonstration, he can set up an alert, show you what an alert would look like on Alexander Hamilton. But I can be notified anytime any recording on my SnapStream mentions the words Alexander Hamilton. So proactively, SnapStream is pushing those to me as an educator, and every educator can set up their own alerts. And then making it easy to pull the video as an MP4 that can be put into Blackboard or put into my PowerPoint presentation as an educator. Making that really simple is also important. Again, the goal, the magic here is put the educators in control. If you do that successfully, then and that's not easy to do, but if you can achieve that, it's a really powerful thing. So I've got another poll question here. The poll question is, which of the following channels do you think teachers would find most valuable to have access to? What would be the most valuable here? News channels, you can choose all that apply: history, PBS, NASA TV, or other science channels. Kind of curious to see what people have to say. All right, looks like we have most people have weighed in here. I'll go ahead and close the poll and share that back out with everyone. So PBS, everybody agrees PBS is valuable. Local and international news channels come next, and then History Channel, Science Channel, Biography Channel. So this is great. Continuing on, let's talk about fair use. This comes up, and probably 50% of the time as we talk to a school, they say, well, what about copyright? The fair use guidelines allow educators to use copyrighted and recorded resources for the following things. So they allow it for face-to-face student interaction, for directed student self-study, real-time remote instruction, review, and directed self-study for students enrolled in curriculum-based courses, and for presentation at peer workshops and conferences where teachers are educating other teachers. So fair use is pretty broad and covers most of the scenarios in which you as educators would be using the TV clips. It's generally a good idea to include the proper citations for copyrighted works, and also generally it's better to not post TV clips for a public audience and wide dissemination. So I mentioned earlier that as a company we provide TV recording and TV search solutions pretty broadly, in lots of different industries. TV shows like The Daily Show and Colbert. And I'll tell you what I've seen with fair use is a pretty broad set of interpretations of what is fair use. So I'll just say that I'm not a lawyer, and everybody has to seek their own counsel on these issues, but it's not very problematic, where it comes to fair use in K through 12. And so the rules are pretty clear in the case of educational video. So now I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about how SnapStream works, and then I'll turn it over to Brian after I'm done, and he'll take you through a demonstration of the product and close out the webinar. So let's see. So SnapStream, how it works. SnapStream lives inside of your data center. It's an on-premise appliance. You can connect a variety of video sources to SnapStream. You can connect, keep jumping around on the slides, sorry about that. So you can connect up your cable or satellite at set-top box. You can feed SnapStream with an antenna source. You can also use SnapStream to distribute morning announcements. So we have a single channel encoder that takes in the output of a camera and encodes it to the H.264 that SnapStream EDU server takes in. You can take files that maybe you've produced on iPads or coming out of a TriCaster, and you can upload those files into SnapStream as well for download, for viewing on demand from the library. And you can also take a video source like a DVD player and play those out and stream those either live or record them and then stream them out again over the network. And the idea is that you have one SnapStream EDU for your district, and then all the schools in your district can access through a very simple program guide. Simplicity is a big part of how we deliver on our promise as a company to K through 12, but they can really easily access all those channels live or recorded, multicast, or unicast. We also have a solution for individual schools, so that's lower cost. It's less scalable in terms of the number of users that can play back concurrently, but we probably sell equal numbers of the SnapStream EDU district servers versus the SnapStream EDU school servers. So as I kind of alluded to, first and foremost, we take pride in the fact that our product is easy to use. Maybe this is because we started out life as a consumer company, but it's just really in our DNA as a company that we make a product that's really easy to use. We've probably done 20 proof of concepts in the last year as we've gotten scaled up in SnapStream EDU, and I can tell you in every case, when people compare us to a vBrick or a MediaCast, the ease of use is the number one reason why we win these deals. Teachers will actually use our product as opposed to another product that might check a bunch of boxes, but is too complicated for teachers to use. You can push live and recorded announcements as well as broadcast television to every PC, Mac. We natively support Chromebooks as well. Our player is an HTML5 player, so there's no software to install. We make it really easy to clip and share, so you can pull your clips into Google Slides or into PowerPoint or into Blackboard. You can upload videos, as I alluded to earlier. That could be class lessons, recordings of class lessons, school sporting events, in-service material. For any flat panel screen you might have in your school, we make the SnapStream TV Set-Top Box, which can be used. It's basically a way to extend the SnapStream experience to kind of a dumb device like a flat panel TV over the IP network. So through the SnapStream TV Set-Top Box, you can watch any live and recorded television, and it's all controlled from a remote control. It's a $200 IP IPTV set-top box. So these are, this is something we built specifically for SnapStream EDU, and kind of has become now an essential part of the experience we deliver in EDU. So let me ask you, let's do another poll question real quick. Of the things that kind of I went through on, on the features, what do you think would be most useful or valuable to your teachers? And so I've got a list here: ability to be alerted to new content, quickly search and filter, ability to share clips and segments. Interested here. Take a second, let everyone weigh in. All right, let's share the poll results out. Yeah, interesting. So I guess the answer was yes, all of this is useful. So that's good. Oh, I don't think I shared out the results. There are the results there. Okay, going back to the presentation, I think I'm ready to turn this over to you, Brian. Are you dialed up? Okay. Okay, so Brian's actually going to come take over on this computer. So thank you all, and it's nice to present Snap. After Brian's done, you'll follow up with us, and we'd love to help you out. So Brian, here you go.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Rakesh, for a great PowerPoint presentation there. And we're going to go ahead and get the interface pulled up here. So as you can see here, we're looking at the SnapStream interface. This is exactly what you would have in your own environment, but we're working off of an in-house system this morning. So from here, I'd like to go to the guide first of all and show you what our program guide looks like, very similar to what you'd have at your own residence. With the exception that, as you can see, we've got a mixture of about 8 or 9 different broadcast TV channels, as well as this in-house channel at the bottom called Brian's Morning Announcements. So very simply, within this screen, you can do one of two things. You're able to come in and watch live content. So as you can see here, I'm watching this live. Now just a little heads up, video streaming does not portray 100% accurately in terms of quality through the GoToWebinar setup. So if there's any type of latency or pixelation or glitching, it is clear on my end and would be clear for you within your own organization. Beyond streaming any of the feeds, as you can see, there's also a bunch of red icons here which indicate that particular shows, or even as you might have seen when I clicked into this particular feed, channels 24/7 can be recorded and archived in the library, which we'll see momentarily, for on-demand playback, as well as the ability to search, as Rakesh alluded to, for those needle in the haystack topical mentions that you might want to pull into your curriculum. Also, just like the traditional broadcast TV, you're able to watch something live that's being done in-house, whether it's a student or an administrator, etc. So as you can see here, I've moved myself over into the camera's view. We've got the beautiful Houston skyline in the background, and this could be anybody internally that's discussing announcements, or it could be some type of professional development video or what have you. So you've got a mixture of both your own content as well as stuff that's coming from broadcast TV. So once you have your recordings in place, they're all going to live over here in the library. And essentially you're building up an archive from scratch of the hundreds and thousands of programs that you might be recording. And from there you can jump in to, say, a particular show and watch it played back in a DVR-like fashion. So in this case, this is something that aired at 9:30 this morning. It's a half-hour program, and I can watch this in a full episode on demand. You also notice when I clicked into this that not only do I have the video feed on the left-hand side, I've also got a bunch of text, which is the accompanying closed captioning of this particular show. So for any broadcast television, per FCC requirements, we're able to pull in the closed captioning associated with it, and that's where the power of the search capability and really honing in on those granular mentions that you're looking for comes into play. So I've got, I just came up with a couple of random searches that we're going to do this morning. And the first one is black holes. So I'm going to come up here into my search bar just like you would do in Google, and I'm going to do a search for black holes. When I do that, it returns me a bunch of different results, and when I click into it, as you can see, it drops me straight into the point of what it is that I'm looking for. So talking about, you know, how black holes are huge spinning vortices, they're hundreds of miles across, et cetera, et cetera. So I can use my scrubbing tools to go ahead and create a start point for my clip and an end point, and then cut out about a 1-minute segment that I can then download and utilize in a number of different ways. So let's say I want to call this my EDU test clip, and I'm going to tag it with science, black holes, and exploration. The tagging could be absolutely anything that you want to, and the importance of this is that I can now search the tagging just like I would with any of the verbiage in the closed captioning of the show itself. So I can then save this to a particular folder, and it'll be accessible as one of my clips in the library. So I'm going to go ahead and clip this out, and you'll see it'll start to run its workflow in the bottom right of the screen. And then when it's done, I'll be able to access that in the library. Over here on the left-hand side, I can come into my clips, and I can pick any of these clips. and then you notice that there is what's called a link to show over here on the right-hand side, and it will give me that link that I can then embed into any sort of presentation related to my curriculum, or I can post it to some type of LMS platform or whatever I want to do with that link. And then, you know, when I click on it, it's going to play back that 55-second clip in seamless fashion. So if I go back to the library, we'll do a search for one more topic here. Say I'm interested in stuff related to Greece. So I'm going to go do a search for the Parthenon, right? A lot of Greek history, mythology, etc. And I click on here, and it takes me straight to the point of the mention once again, where it talks about the world famous Parthenon, the miraculous, you know, the really fascinating aspect in which it was put together, all of the how its structure was designed, etc. I can take a screenshot here of any moment in time of my video feed, and I can download that or send it as an email attachment. I can also create tagging, so I can add tags within the show to create markers at certain junctures that are easy to jump to. And then as you see up here, there's search results. It says 1 of 31. This actually means that the term that I was looking for, which you see highlighted, it's mentioned 31 different times within this program. So I can easily jump around to get to whatever particular segment that I want to, and then extract that clip as I see fit. Now, Rakesh mentioned also about alerts. So we've touched on a couple of different aspects in terms of doing manual searches, both within my archive as a whole or going into a particular show and searching for something. But there might be particular things that I want to know about on a regular basis. So I'll set up my EDU alert, and I'm going to send this to my email address, and let's say every morning, or maybe it's twice a day, or maybe it's once a week, when I get into my office, I want to know about Alexander Hamilton. And I want to know about the Civil War, or whatever the particular terms might be. Now, based off of permission settings, which I'll showcase here in just a second, any number of end users can set up their own alert notifications. So now, anytime that it scrubs the closed captioning for Alexander Hamilton or Civil War, it will send me those results directly to my inbox with any updated information between 8 a.m. yesterday and 8 a.m. today. For me to have on a automated basis rather than having to do recurring searches for the same topics. So speaking of permissions, this comes in really handy, is pretty crucial for the education sector, just because, you know, one of the other big aspects in addition to the user-friendly nature of our interface is having control over who's accessing what, and really being able to monitor how SnapStream, how people are engaging with SnapStream. So you'll see that we have direct integration with something called Active Directory. This is a commonly used software for controlling login credentials, and we can integrate with typically what's already in place within your organization, and then creating subgroups. You might have administrators that have, you know, fairly comprehensive access to the different functionality that SnapStream covers, and you might have more basic, just like TV viewers that have fairly limited access. So they wouldn't be able to record anything, they might not be able to make clips. Maybe this is applicable for like 7th and 8th grade students versus a campus principal. Back to the library, I did want to point out as well that in addition to recording stuff from the guide that would live over here, you also are able to utilize SnapStream as a centralized repository, and any sort of files can be uploaded and stored into particular files, into particular folder destinations, and then accessed by, by particular campuses, subject departments, on down to individuals. So I think that pretty much covers a high-level overview of the SnapStream interface. As I mentioned, it's completely customizable from what lives in the library to what channels are available in the guide, as well as who's able to access what type of settings from an administrative standpoint. And we're going to stick around here for a few more minutes and answer any questions that you might have. And I'm happy to take conversations offline as well as they're applicable to your particular use case. So thank you everybody for your time this morning and attending today's webinar. And we'll be here for a few more moments to take any questions.